We both know it right away. And I see it dancing, I know you're down. It's some kind of magic. We both know it right away.
Hello all you Digidestined out there, this is Trey from Team Hi-Heads and welcome back to the channel. I'm back here today with a D-brigade Digipolice deck profile, and since I've been gone for quite a while, I like to start things off with a easier deck to understand and one of my favorites. I have been playing this deck since the cards first started coming out way back in when BT was still in 1 digits. So I love the deck. Rookie Rush style or evolving style, I think, it's both ways, works really well. I also believe it's one of the easier decks to pick up and begin with as a new player playing Digimon. Starting off with the since we are playing a Rookie Rush style deck, we're playing 4 of the Bt15 Missimon and 1 of the EX3 Missimon. This could easily be there's another black egg where I think it's when it's deleted, you can reveal the top card. If it's a black Digimon, you can add it to your hand. That could easily be this egg. I personally am playing the Missimon just for thematic reasons. The Bt14 Missimon is definitely the one you want to see more often. It's the newer one, and it also helps you keep from decking out, which can be a problem in this deck if you don't manage your resources well. The Missimon from Bt14 says when you attack, you can return 3 cards with D-brigade or Digipolice trait from trash to top deck, and then that Digimon gets plus 2k DP. Now, this is a very important word choice you have to remember with this deck, because you'll see 2 things with some of these effects. You'll see you can get a D-brigade or Digipolice card, or you'll see D-brigade Digipolice Digimon. So you have to pay attention to which one says which, because you can do some pretty tricky stuff with this deck, depending on the terms that are used. Off to the rookies, we're playing a lot of commandramons, so I'm just going to lay them all out and let you know which ones we use for various reasons. So we're playing 4 of my favorite BT4 commandramon and 4 of the new BT14 commandramon. So 10 sets later, and we have another really amazing commandramon. Backing those guys up, we're playing 4 of the Bt3 commandramon, which is just a 2-cost vanilla, and then 4 of the EX3 commandramon, and we're finishing off with 2 of the Bt5 commandramon. So, my reason, there are a lot of commandramons out there, and there are more coming out. I'm going to be probably saying commandramon a lot. The earlier commandramon, Bt4, is your bread and butter when it comes to certain. You play a commandramon, and then you place remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. The reason that that's important is because there's a level 4 that says it's treated as commandramon, so you have to pay attention to that. The newer one says you reveal 5, and you can add 1 card, keyword card, with D-brigade or Digipolice trait from them to your hand. Return the rest to top or bottom of the deck, so you can decide where you want the rest of those cards to go, helping you plan ahead. The other 10 commandramons are support, in my opinion. The 2-cost vanilla is a cheap way to play a card, pass it to your opponent's turn. Also has 3,000 DP. The 3-cost from EX3 is a decoy. So for those of you who may be new, it's decoy with D-brigade trait. So if one of your other Digimon with D-brigade would be deleted by an opponent's effects, you can delete this Digimon to prevent it instead. So if you have multiple of these guys out on the field when people will try to do something, let's say board wipe, you can save multiple D-brigades by having these guys out. And then the inherit of this fellow here, who also has the same inherit as the high commandramon you'll see in a bit, is all turns, once per turn, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, other than by your effect, you can delete one of your other Digimon with D-brigade trait to prevent it from leaving. So these 2 guys keep your cards from pretty much being deleted from the field. And then, of course, this could be a different commandramon. I personally like to have a blocker. I have 4 copies of the new high commandramon, 4 copies of the only one that's not a D-brigade, which is Numamon, and then 2 copies of Sealsdramon. So high commandramon's 4 costs, great value to play. It's also treated as commandramon because of the rule box, which means if you see it with the 3-cost commandramon, you can still play it out. When it attacks, it can reveal the top 3 cards from your deck, play 1 card with D-brigade or Digipolice trait and a play cost of 3 or less among them without paying the cost, and then return the rest of the bottom of the deck. Now again, that says card, not Digimon, and that will be important when we move a little later. I'll tell you the difference and why it's so important. But again, it's D-brigade or Digipolice, which means you could play this Numamon, because it's not D-brigade, but it is Digipolice, and it has the same inherit as the lower commandramon, which is all turns. If your card would leave the field, anything other than your effect, delete another D-brigade instead. The Sealsdramon is just jamming, which I love. I love having jamming because it, bothers your opponent. It pretty much makes this card an immediate target because you don't want to keep swinging with jamming too often. The inherit works very well with the ultimates and the mega, because when you play another Digimon with D-brigade, it gains rush, which is pretty good. But in terms of what's coming out within Bt15, this will definitely get swapped out, and I'll show you what I mean when I would swap this out for, because I do have some proxies of Bt16 that I want to show, because this is going to be an update to how I've been playing it and how I might play it moving forward. To the ultimates, I was running 2 copies of Tankdramon and 4 copies of Cargodramon. So the cost of these guys is almost identical, and honestly, with their poses, it's very easy to confuse these cards. So you do have to be careful. They're both 7 costs. They both cost 7,000. They both have 7,000 DP. They both evolve for 3,000. The text in the box looks almost exactly the same. So there have been many times when I thought I had a foolproof plan and I was looking at the wrong card. So you got to be careful with that. The main difference between the two is that Cargodramon has his Digivolving effect is also an on-play effect. So you could hard play the Cargodramon if need be. Let's say you're at 4, your opponent has a memory tamer, so they're going to go to 3 regardless. You can play the Cargodramon and still get its effect, which is great. You can't do that with the Tankdramon. However, once you get to the ultimates, level 5 and above, you start seeing an effect that makes you have to manage your resources well. What I mean by that is, Cargodramons, when Digivolving and on play, says to reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck and play 1 card with D-brigade or Digipolice and a play cost of 4 or less among them without paying the cost, but you trash the rest. That means 2 of those cards are going to the trash. Tankdramon says something similar. When Digivolving, reveal top 3 cards. You may play 1 Digimon card. Now here, this one says Digimon cards. You got to be careful. With D-brigade and traits, not Digipolice, and a play cost of 5 or less. That means you could play the level 4s without paying a cost, but again, trash the rest. So once you start getting to those effects where you trash afterwards, it makes the deck a little trickier. Inherit of Tankdramon is only on your turn, but when one of your Digimon with D-brigade traits attacks, you can reveal the top 2 cards and play a commandramon among them, trash the rest. Cargodramon has all turns. When one of your other Digimon is deleted, reveal the top 3 cards, play a commandramon, and trash the rest. The part where you have to manage your resources is, these effects are not optional. They are Megas. We're playing, of course, the big boss guy. 3 Brigadramon, 1 Darkdramon. This originally was this way because I never got a hold of a 4th Brigadramon, and in playtesting, I never needed it. So instead of playing 4-1 split and having 5 megas, I just went with a 3-1 split and having 4 megas. This is a game closer, which is the reason we kind of like it. It has rush. It shuffles your cards back to keep you from decking out. The only issue I have with it is you do have to have 13 memory to play with, which is a little tricky. With the Brigadramon, on your opponent's turn, all D-brigades gain blocker. That means pretty much every Digimon in your deck will have blocker on your opponent's turn, excluding Numamon. Numamon is the only Digimon in your deck that's only Digipolice, not D-brigade. End of your turn, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you can play up to 7 cost total cards of D-brigade or Digipolice among them without paying a cost. Trash the rest. Again, it says you may, you might as well ignore that, because why would you not play something? Why would you trash all your cards? Okay. But again, it is, like I said, these all trigger no matter what. You know, it's not like it says at the end of your turn you may reveal 3 cards. It says no, end of your turn reveal 3. The Tankdramon says if something is deleted, reveal 3. Not you may reveal 3. Tankdramon says if something attacks, reveal 2. Not you may reveal 2. So once you do, if any of those effects trigger, you have to do this, which starts making your resources become very scarce. The 4-cost Digivolve is a little annoying to deal with, but you can get around it. And also, when Digivolving, you can delete up to 7 play costs total worth of your opponent's Digimon. I've seen that lately in Bt15. When this card first came out in Bt14, it could pop more than 1 card. And Bt15 and moving forward, I feel as though people have gotten used to playing Brigadramon. They're able to play around it. And I don't often trigger his when Digivolving effect as often as I used to. Moving on to the options and tamers. Put the options up here. We're playing 2 defensive training, 2 DCD bomb, and 2 iron fisted onslaught. As for tamers, we're playing 4 Satsuki and 2 Keenan. Now, this is kind of standard with these tamers. Definitely moving forward, I'm probably going to take the Keenan out. Its effect is okay. I never really came into a matchup where it mattered. In fact, the only time I really saw Keenan's effect matter was when a friend of mine was playing this deck against a deck that I was playing, which was the Phoenixmon, and that deck plays a lot of cards by effects. So his effect triggered a lot, but most of the time, his effect will never go off. And a lot of people will typically just ditch a tamer option, and you won't get the gain of memory if you check it in security or anything like that. So the Keenan hasn't been very useful to me, in my personal opinion. Satsuki is just the GOAT. Plays itself from security. Main phase, if your opponent has Digimon, you get the gain of memory. So the more of these you have out, you get the gain more memory, which kind of forces your opponent to, not have a board presence. You can Mind Link, which will give your Numamon or your Digipolice jamming and reboot. And at the end of the turn, you can end the Mind Link. Now, you have to be careful with Satsuki because it Mind Links with Digipolice. So some of your cards are D-brigade / Digipolice, and some of them are just D-brigade. So you can't Mind Link to all of your cards. Essentially, you can look at it as she came out in Bt14. You could probably Mind Link with anything Bt14 and moving forward. Anything before Bt14 is only D-brigade. You can't Mind Link with it. Defense training. The training cards are great. We all know what they do. This is just a black one. DCD Bomb is one of my favorite options because it has D-brigade and trait. So you can add it off of anything that says grab a card with D-brigade trait or put a card with D-brigade trait back. So you could stack your deck to put this back at the top of your deck and draw into it on a Digivolve or your next turn. Then you got a 4-cost removal card. You Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, then return 3 cards. Not even just Digimon, 3 cards with D-brigade or Digipolice trait in your trash top deck. Delete something 6 total play cost stores. So total play cost means you could delete a couple rookies if they both level 3 or something that's annoying, right? But since it says card, that means you can put back Satsuki because it's Digipolice. You can put back another DCD Bomb because it's D-brigade. And you can put back all your Digimon. Iron Fist Onslaught. I used to run the other guy. I don't know why I can't remember the name of it right now. But it would Digivolve 3. But I found in my playtesting that it just didn't do enough. A lot of stacks were so big that Digivolving 3 didn't automatically kill the Digimon. And they just built back up. I'd rather just delete it and force them to use an effect to save it, or it just goes away. Before I go, I do want to show you some things, though. So, moving forward to Bt16, we're going to be getting these cards here. We're going to be getting a new commandramon. We'll be getting a new Tankdramon, a new Sealsdramon, and a new Darkdramon. Okay? So, of these 4 cards, I'm going to be very frank, I only like these 2. These two, not so much. I can see their usefulness, but they are clearly trying to take D-brigade, Digipolice, to a direction where this set, they want them to, I guess, digivolve with Leomon and things of that sort. The way I play the deck, I wouldn't need to do that. The niche part with the commandramon, it has the same inherit and regular effect, which is all of your Digimon with D-brigade or Digipolice gain 1000 DP. The Sealsdramon has the exact same effect. So I could see how if maybe you had these both stacked and then something on top, now everything's getting 2000 DP, which is cool. I can also see how if you had a few of these spammed out, everything's going to get extra 1000, extra 1000, extra 1000. That's great. But the only time I can see having more than one of these spammed out is if you have Brigademon on the field. And if you have Brigademon on the field, that means you just want your guys to block, and this isn't really the commandramon you want to block with. It's not going to do much for you. Yes, it can make your blockers stronger, but in D-brigade / Digipolice, you don't really care if your blockers die because you can spam them out so fast and put them back so fast. That's the reason I don't really like this guy. Okay, the Darkdramon, on one hand, I like it better than the older Darkdramon because of its play cost, and that's pretty much it. You could play it for 7 just because. As long as you have another D-brigade trait out on the field, you can play him for 7, which is awesome. You don't need to have the 3 and then gain back 10 or whatever, how that works. However, on play, it just will delete something depending on how you do it. When you play it, you will shuffle back your real top 5 cards of your deck, and then you can delete something with a play cost equal to or less than something you revealed. And considering it's on play, lets you shuffle 5 cards back, you would know what's there. However, playing something for 7 to delete one thing isn't really that amazing in my opinion. And then you'll never use it in the turn. So other than the cheaper play costs, this guy, again, does nothing for me. The Sealsdramon and Tankdramon, however, I love these cards. One, like I said, the inherit plus 1000, cool. However, the Sealsdramon has a on-play and when digivolving that lets you return 3 cards with D-brigade or Digipolice from your trash to deck top, and then it gains Rush. So we have another card that can get Rush, which is great. And it can cycle our cards back to the deck. Also great. And it's on a 4-cost card and a level 4 at that. So this is much easier to get access to. It's essentially the older Darkdramon on a 4-cost card. So now essentially, and I would play 2 of these, now essentially you have 3 copies of that Darkdramon. This one's just a little weaker. That's great. The Tankdramon. This Tankdramon just has me amazed. So similar to Cargodramon, it now has an on-play and when digivolving effect. So that 7 cost 7,000 looks a little better. And the artwork is different, so you shouldn't get them confused, which is another great thing. Reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck. For each card with D-brigade or Digipolice trait among them, reduce the play cost of all your opponent's Digimon by 1 for the turn, and return the real cards to top deck or bottom deck. Then delete one of your opponents with a play cost of 4 or less. So, that's alright. I get where they're going with it. However, the inherit of this card is where it's amazing. All turns, once per turn, when one of your other Digimon with D-brigade or Digipolice is played, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. That effect is amazing, especially with Brigademon. It's amazing because you digivolve with Brigademon. End of turn, use Brigademon's effect. Play a D-brigade or Digipolice. That will trigger this all turns to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, let's say they swing and you block with Bt4 commandramon. It gets deleted. Reveals 3, plays another Dbrigade or Digipolice, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon again. That, 3 copies. Easy 3 copies. But the best card coming from the new set is definitely the card with the longest name I have ever said. And I will definitely be playing 2 of them because it's basically double Typhoon for D-Brigade. This card It's called Metropolitan Police Department, Community Safety Bureau, Cybercrime Division, Investigation Unit 11, Digimon Crime Response Team. I will be calling this card DCR for Digimon Crime Response Team. I'm not saying that name every time, okay? On main, reveal 3 cards. Add 1 card with D-brigade or Digipolice from among them to your hand. Return the rest to the top of the deck. Then place this card in the battle area. That means you know what those other 2 cards are. Delay. Reveal 3 cards from top of your deck. Play 1 card with D-brigade or Digipolice in a play cost of 4 or less. From among them, trash the rest. So, yes, you have to trash the rest. However, you're going to know what those 2 cards are. And even if you don't, with all your effects from all your other cards, you should know what those top 3 cards are going to be, whether you've done more effects or not. So when you go to use this delay, you're going to know what you're going to play, right? If that's the new Seals-Dramon, you trash the rest, play the Seals-Dramon. Seals-Dramon on play shuffles them back. So you didn't lose anything. Commandramon could be on play, reveal another 5 and grab something. Higher Commandramon now has the ready to go for an attack next turn, or Digivolve be Digivolved on top of. Numamon on play, you can do Mind Link with Satsuki. Now you got Satsuki in play. This card has so many applications. And in security, it just does the same thing as the main. Reveal 3, add 1, and then return the rest to the top of the deck and place in the play. So it does the same in main as security. This card is basically double Typhoon, and I would swap out the 2 Keenans for this card. And depending on how well it does, I'd probably put a 3rd one in. But that's me. That's how I'm going to be moving on, going on to Bt15. I'm going to be running 2 of DCR, 3 Tankdramon, and 2 Seals-Dramon. So I'm going to take out probably 1 Cargo-Dramon and the 2 Tankdramons, replace it with these 2 Bt16 Tankdramons. I'm going to be having the 2 Seals-Dramon I have in now swapped out for these 2 Seals-Dramon, and the 2 Keenans swapped out for DCR. And I guarantee the deck is just going to be phenomenal. However, that's my time. I'm way over my time. I know this deck profile is going to be a lot longer than my normal ones, but I had a lot more to explain in this one. So I hope you were able to bear with me. I hope you made it to the end. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching my content, and thank you for staying a loyal subscriber or viewer. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget, if you're going to go out, you go out in a blaze of glory.
You trash, average at best. I can tell by your lack of confidence how you carry yourself. I'm a Minotaur, so get lost or get them all. Charizard, no Philly, that's Asgard. Don't misconstrue, no interlude. My only mood is go hard.